Detroit is not just a city. It is a story of dreams, success, pain, collapse, and hope. Few cities in the world have experienced such incredible highs and heartbreaking lows. Today, Detroit is slowly rebuilding itself after one of the greatest economic collapses in modern American history. Long before Europeans arrived, the land around the Detroit River belonged to indigenous peoples, especially the Anishinaabe nations. The river connected the Great Lakes and was one of North America's most important trade routes. People hunted, fished, and traded here for thousands of years. The birth of Detroit, 1701. On July 24, 1701, French explorer Antoine de la Mothe Cadillac founded Fort Pontchartrain du Detroit. The word Detroit comes from the French word Detroit, meaning straight or narrow river. The settlement quickly became an important center for the fur trade between Europeans and Native American tribes. In 1760, after the 7 Years' War, France lost control of Detroit to Britain. The British strengthened the fort because Detroit was strategically important. Native American leader Pontiac led a major uprising against British rule in 1763, surrounding Detroit for months. Although he did not capture the fort, his resistance became legendary. After the American Revolution, Britain finally handed Detroit over to the United States in 1796. Detroit became part of the growing American frontier. Its population was still very small, only a few hundred people, but its location made it important for trade and transportation. The Great Fire, 1805. Disaster struck. A massive fire destroyed almost the entire city. Almost every building burned. Instead of giving up, the people rebuilt Detroit from the ashes. New wide streets were planned, making Detroit one of America's best-designed early cities. War of 1812. During the War of 1812, British forces captured Detroit. 1 year later, the United States took it back. The war showed how valuable Detroit's location was for controlling the Great Lakes. Detroit 1967.org+1. Chapter 7, The Industrial Revolution. Throughout the 1800s, Detroit expanded rapidly. Railroads arrived. Factories opened. Ships filled the Detroit River. Immigrants from Europe came looking for work and better lives. The city became one of America's fastest-growing industrial centers. The automobile changed everything. Everything changed in 1903. Henry Ford founded the Ford Motor Company. In 1913, Ford introduced the moving assembly line. Cars became cheaper. Factories produced thousands of vehicles every day. People from all over America and the world came to Detroit for jobs. Detroit became known as the Motor City. Soon, companies like General Motors and Chrysler joined Ford. Detroit became the automobile capital of the world. This was Detroit's brightest period. Millions of people lived there. Huge skyscrapers were built. Beautiful neighborhoods appeared. The city became one of the richest in America. Workers earned good salaries. Families bought homes, cars, and enjoyed stable lives. Detroit was often called America's industrial heart. World War II. When World War II began, Detroit became the arsenal of democracy. Car factories stopped making cars. Instead, they built tanks, airplanes, military trucks, engines, weapons for the Allied forces. Detroit's factories helped the Allies win the war. Millions of workers contributed to the war effort. In 1959, Berry Gordy created Motown Records. Artists such as Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, and Diana Ross became global stars. Detroit wasn't only building cars anymore. It was creating music that inspired the whole world. During the 1950s and 1960s, trouble slowly appeared. Factories began moving elsewhere. Many middle-class families moved to the suburbs. Racial tensions increased. Jobs slowly disappeared. The city's economy became weaker. The 1967 Detroit riot. In July 1967, a police raid triggered one of the deadliest civil disturbances in American history. The violence lasted 5 days. Many people died. Thousands of buildings were damaged. Businesses closed. Many families left Detroit permanently. This became one of the turning points in the city's decline. The fall. From the 1970s onward, factories closed. Jobs disappeared. Population dropped dramatically. Houses were abandoned. Crime increased. Entire neighborhoods became empty. Detroit, once among America's richest cities, became one of its poorest large cities. The decline happened over decades and had many causes, including industrial changes, population shifts, racial inequality, and economic challenges. In 2013, Detroit filed for the largest municipal bankruptcy in U.S. history. The city owed billions of dollars. Many people believed Detroit would never recover. The comeback. But Detroit refused to give up. Old buildings were restored. New businesses opened. Technology companies invested. Artists returned. Downtown became lively again. Tourism increased. The famous Michigan Central Station was restored, and new parks, restaurants, and cultural projects became symbols of renewal. Why Detroit is famous. Birthplace of modern automobile manufacturing. Home of Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler. Birthplace of Motown music. Major contributor during World War II. One of the greatest stories of urban decline and recovery in modern history. An emotional ending. Detroit teaches an unforgettable lesson. A city can become rich. A city can become poor. Factories can close. Buildings can fall. People can leave. But hope can survive. Detroit has fallen many times, but every generation has tried to rebuild it. Its streets still carry the sound of factory machines, Motown songs, and the determination of millions of people who believe that no matter how difficult life becomes, a city and its people can rise again.